offshore wind, solar. Dominion Energy is a leader in the clean energy transition. We're dedicated to providing reliable, affordable, safe, and clean energy as we support and invest in our communities in 16 states. Dominion Energy is building a clean energy future. Actions speak louder.
Welcome to Actions Speak Louder, a program about Dominion Energy's projects and community support. I'm Peggy Fox, Dominion Energy's Media and Community Relations Manager in Northern Virginia. Today, we highlight organizations that are all about STEM education. And I'd like to introduce Robin McDougall. She is with the organization, founder and CEO of the Pearl Project Institute for STEM Literacy. Thank you so much for joining us, Robin. Tell me a little bit about what is the Pearl Project Institute?
The Pearl Project Institute for Innovation in STEM Literacy is really a mouthful, but we feel like it was important to say STEM literacy. Whether you are an engineer or a coder, we really feel like even if you're in fashion or makeup, that you know that science, technology, engineering, and mathematics all went into those fields.
That's right. It's really important for every kind of job, every career.
Every kind of job. The future is really made and designed to include STEM thinking. So our program is designed to bring ideas to the young community, build a pipeline all the way from upper elementary through postgraduate school to let them know that there are STEM opportunities out there. Especially, we're looking for women and girls.
Right.
And we are really focused on aerospace these days. We are really bringing along the idea that commercial space is a future industry, and we'd like to be the leaders.
We've seen a lot of that recently in the news.
Yes.
With billionaires taking people up to space. Tell me why the focus on girls?
The focus on girls is, for example, in the aerospace industry, most, I would say 87% are men. Nothing wrong with that. It just means that there's room for more thoughts that include women.
Robin, I know that your organization is your way to pay it forward, and it's personal. Take a look at Robin's story behind the Pearl Project Institute for STEM Literacy.
I'm a kid from Brooklyn, New York. I grew up in public housing. I didn't have as many opportunities as my children have today. Somebody came along from the community, especially the after-school community world. I didn't go to summer camp, I didn't go to after-school programs. I had a community center attached to my public housing. The adults there, the community activists and leaders, would take us and spend time with us. As a result of that, I was able to take a special test, identified the fact that I was good in science and math, and I went to a special private school. Yes, I had to leave my community and be in a community of people that I was unfamiliar with. But because of that, it changed the path of my life. And as a result of that, this is my pay it forward. I decided that as a result of my personal experience and some research as an educator and a business person, I know that STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, is an absolute must for everybody. And the best way to do that is to have someone you're comfortable with teach you the hard stuff.
So Robin, thank you so much for telling your personal story. It's really, it's so important. So many kids don't have the opportunities. You know, they don't go to schools where all the kids are expected to learn all these things, or they're just not given. So it's wonderful that you are out there creating these opportunities. You've got this little, one of the projects you have, you brought some props with you. Tell me what that is.
Yeah, so I have two things with me.
Yep.
One is a character named Pearl.
Yes, right here.
She is my alter ego, actually. But the idea is I'm that kid that came from a community that maybe didn't have STEM leaders. And so what was important is that we created a group of characters, 6 in fact, that represent our ethos, our thought process, and the fact that she's interested in technology, and she's also interested in space exploration. And then we, thanks to Dominion Charitable Foundation, we were able to write a grant and design a ready-to-go kit for youth in urban settings. And this one is focusing on urban sustainability, an empowerment concept in a box where you learn to design your environment. And first steps is to understand what it looks like to be in a sustainable community. And we have a sustainable journal with recyclable paper.
I love it.
And so we make sure that students start to learn to observe, which is one of our outcomes. We also want to let them know that there is alternative energy that's available to them.
That's a little solar panel.
This is a solar panel, so they get to use that. And also they get to know the benefit of wind energy. And so finally, we want to make sure that they know that food is important. And there's something called food deserts. And many of the students need to learn that they could, in fact, grow their own food, and that we need more green space in urban settings.
That is really awesome. So what other kind of programs do you have to reach kids?
So one of our very first program, which we were very proud of, that was targeting girls, is called Embrace STEM. This is a physics project where we reached out to Virginia-based community centers through the Fairfax County government, and they're called teen centers. And so we trained the teen leaders to bring physics concepts to the students there. Laws of motion, aerospace, something called design thinking, where they act like engineers. And what's at the heart of it is understanding that ambiguity and uncertainty is part of learning. And so we teach them to park those uncomfortable feelings in the form of colors. And the motto is, not knowing is the first step to knowing.
So many kids, or anybody, people are afraid to ask the question. And what I've found is, I was a journalist for most of my career, and you have to ask questions, right? So what I learned, and that is that if you have a question, someone else does too.
That's right.
You know, so when you get over that fear of asking the question, then you can learn. And do you find that to be the case, that a lot of kids who put these barriers up? Oh, I'm not good at math. I don't want to learn that. I don't like chemistry, and if they just ask the question, that's the first step?
Absolutely. Questioning and the ability to construct a question is a sign of advanced thinking. So my training formally is advanced thinking, curriculum instruction and design for advanced thinking from George Mason University. So shout out to George Mason University and all other alums. But our job there is to design curriculum that teach you how to construct a question, who, what, when, where, how questions. Questions that require you to go down the rabbit hole and dig deeper. And one question generally begets another question, which takes you deeper. And having a question is exactly what we want them to do.
What is next for the Pearl Project Institute?
Oh, I'm so excited. We have a meeting a little bit later. The next step for us is to design a Interstellar Dreams Institute. This is where we will blend climate change needs with space exploration. We are working closely with NASA, the observatory at George Mason University, and other experts in the field to let students know they don't have to choose between space exploration and saving our planet, that they come together.
That is really fantastic. And it's so great to learn about the Pearl Project Institute for STEM Literacy. Thank you so much for coming on Action Speak Louder, Robin. Really wonderful. And you can, of course, learn more about the Pearl Project by going to the Pearl Project Institute .org, and you can find out all about it right there. Another STEM literacy organization supported by Dominion Energy is Pink Space Theory. Joining us on Zoom is Monica Nichols, the founder and CEO of Pink Space Theory. And here in the studio with us is Kiana Turner, professor of environmental science at George Mason University. Thanks for joining us, Kiana.
Thanks for having me.
And thanks for joining us, Monica.
Thank you for having me as well.
Hey, Monica, tell us a little bit about Pink Space Theory. What is it?
Well, we are a nonprofit organization primarily serving the community in Prince William County. Our organization was created out of a need to help close the STEM gender, race, and equity and equality gaps that unfortunately still exist in the STEM community today. We want to do our part by helping to close those gaps. And so what we do is we provide youth, especially girls, with learning opportunities that expose, engage, and empower them to want to explore the wonderful world of science, technology, engineering, art, and math. And so, yes, we add the A for arts to STEM to make it STEAM. And the reason being is that we think it's equally important to balance analysis with the arts.
Now, you have a personal story behind Pink Space Theory. Monica, tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. So I started Pink Space Theory for a couple of reasons. First and foremost, through my own personal struggles with obtaining my degree with engineering. So when I first went off to Michigan State University, I found myself in a remedial math course. So what that meant was my math skills were definitely below average. And so, mind you, I graduated within the top 10% of my high school class. Despite that fact, though, that my math skills were not up to par. So some of it I attribute to the fact that I decided on my own not to pursue a math course in high school, which I later found out was something that I should not have done. So with that being said, my own personal struggle is really why I wanted to create this organization, because I want students to know that you don't have to be a math whiz or a science star in order to pursue a degree in STEM. I have this quote that I like to emphasize to students, and that is the difference between who you are and who you want to be is what you do. And so with that, it comes to, if you're faced with adversity, do you give up or do you push forward? And so perseverance is one of the things that I really want students to learn as part of our organization. And as we know, there is a gap when it comes to women pursuing STEM. And I know there's a lot of reports that identify those different variables. But for me, I think that there are three key variables that contribute to the fact that you don't see a lot of women in STEM. First, it's access and opportunity. Secondly, not being able to see yourself in a particular STEM role model, STEM profession. And then thirdly, I think it has to deal with confidence. And those are the three areas that our organization and our programming really touches upon.
Right. Confidence and seeing yourself in that role. And I have Kiana Turner here in the studio, and she is a professor at George Mason University. And you also have a personal story on why you pursued a STEM career.
Yeah, originally I think I got my start a little bit late. I always kind of had a love for science, but talking about representation, I didn't really see myself as far as like where I would fit into it for a career. So I decided I was going to go to culinary arts school. I had applied, got accepted to some schools, and then my senior year, second semester, I took an AP environmental science class, and I feel like that's what really like sparked it for me, where I was like, I don't know if I can turn this into a career, but I know I'm passionate enough about it and I love it that I'm willing to try. So that's something I decided to go to college for, both undergrad and grad school, and something I wanted to continue to pursue, because I realized I was like, if I don't see myself represented, then I want to be an example of that representation, that it doesn't matter where you come from or what you look like or your background. It's very easy to find resources that are acceptable, where you can take that dream and kind of shift it into a reality.
And so you pursued a bachelor's and also a master's degree.
Yes, I just completed my master's degree at George Mason last fall, and I was actually accepted into their doctoral program. So next year I'll be pursuing my PhD there as well.
Dr. Turner sounds
Yeah.
nice.
Just for the Dr. Turner.
Yeah, oh, that is awesome. Well, I'm impressed with professor. And so you're teaching at George Mason.
Yeah, I started teaching while I was pursuing my master's degree, and it was kind of a challenge that they kind of threw me into, and they were like, we're going to let you graduate lecture first, and if you're successful, then we'll kind of expand this program. I was successful, and then after I graduated, I became adjunct faculty there.
Well, let me show this little video. I think you're in the video, Kiana. But recently, Pink Space Theory went to a middle school down in Prince William County, and a bunch of girls, middle school students, learned how to make wind turbines. So take a look.
Hi, I'm Megan Redmer, and I am right now at a STEM program, and we're working with wind turbines here to see what variables can be changed to make more energy come from them and how much wind we can get going.
You can put the blade in. Does it matter where? Well, that's up to you. So that's part of the design, is how many blades we put on, what angle we put them on.
We are able to start maybe having a couple of you come down to the end where we can start working on our test to see if yours is cruising. I know. Right? Yours is cruising. Charge my cell phone up with that. They have less surface area and they're tilted so less drag happens. And in the back, I have a bigger gear which helps more energy become produced, because a smaller gear down here produces the energy. And the more teeth that it runs through each spin, the more energy it produces. What you're going to do is you're going to hit collect, because what you're going to do is you're going to collect the amount of energy that is being generated by the spinning of the turbine.
My name is Kevin Smith, and I'm the principal here at Potomac Middle School.
Why is this so important?
It's an opportunity to have the young ladies explore science, engineering, things of that nature that spark an interest for them. Also to work to try to close that gap between female and male students who are interested in science.
This is going to hook up to this in the computer, and then it's going to tell you how fast your wind turbines are going, how much energy you're producing.
So what I've learned so far is that really no idea is a bad idea. I have not failed. I have just found 100 ways this will not work. And we build things. It's not always about building something new. It's about what can I do to make this better. So that is really what I've learned so far. And
so it's trial and error, and
yes,
through that there is learning.
Yes, trial and error. Practice makes perfect.
Two women engineers for Dominion Energy, tell me what you were doing here today.
So we got here at the middle school and we assembled some wind turbines with some of the middle school students, 6th through 8th grade girls, and we had a lot of fun doing it.
Yes, we actually had a great time. It was a great opportunity with Pink Space. The reason why I started Pink Space Theory is based on my own personal struggles as it relates to pursuing an engineering degree. So when I went off to college, I started off in remedial math at Michigan State University. And so for me, it's really about giving students an opportunity to build those STEM skills early on so that they don't have to endure the long haul that I did as I went off to college to pursue my engineering degree.
I really enjoy this program because I plan when I get older to go into sort of a STEM job. So this is kind of giving me a push in that right direction.
So you can see how much those girls learned, how much math and science went into the turbines that they were building. They designed the blades, and then they learned to measure the energy. And you guys were both there having a great time. Channel 5 was there doing a story on it, and it was so cool. What do you see, Monica, when you see those girls and how excited they are, and they're doing this hands-on project where they're learning and putting skills into place? What's behind all that?
Well, actually, if you watch the video, I think one of the participants, her name was Kaylin, she was being interviewed, and she told the reporter when she kept looking back, she said, I'm sorry, I keep looking back because I'm so proud of what I was able to do. And so really that actually melted my heart, because at the end of the day, that is really what Pink Space Theory is about. It's about showing girls that you can do anything that you put your mind to it. And so that in itself was just one of those moments where you sit back and say, this is what you want all girls to know, and that is, no matter what the obstacles are, you can do it as long as you put your mind to it. So that was a great opportunity for the girls to see firsthand how, you know, you can translate some of the environmental concepts that they're being taught in the classroom, how that can apply to a real world example. Also, Dominion Energy came in and did a wonderful job just giving the girls exposure to some of those careers that are available in the environmental space.
Yeah.
So once again, I think it's a great partnership to give girls an opportunity to explore hands-on, project activities such as that, and to see how those things can apply to real world examples.
Yeah, we loved. We had our two women engineers, or two of our women engineers. We have many women engineers at Dominion Energy, and two of them were able to come and help you and Kiana and all the girls put together their wind turbines. And I thought it was exciting. I've never been to a program like that, so it was really fun to watch. And Kiana, what did you think about being there and part of it?
I had so much fun. I wasn't originally supposed to be there, but I told Monica, I was like, wherever you need me, put me there. You don't have to pay me. I just want to be here. So it's always fun. I always see it like that spark that you're looking for as you see kind of that transition with the girls as they go from kind of passive observers to active participants. And they see this is something that it's challenging, but I can actually do it. So it goes from help me to I got this, like move.
And that confidence is just so important, isn't it, Monica?
It is. It definitely is. And so that's something that I know personally. I moved out of my comfort zone, and that's really what we want to give girls an opportunity to see that they too can build upon their confidence. And so part of the program, I think we're going to talk about a little bit later, is that we actually gave a session on leadership qualities. It was based off of the book here, John C. Maxwell. Sometimes you win and sometimes you learn, because we all know that in life you are going to be faced with these obstacles that maybe the outcome didn't come out the way that you expected. So how do you deal with adversity? So we touched upon that, and we had a coach, lifeline coach, come in and talk to the girls about the 11 essential qualities of a winner. So I think that is another way to help build girls' confidence, is to give them those skills to understand that, what is the things that you need to possess in order to be a leader. And a leader does not necessarily mean that you're always winning, but how do you take those perceived losses and learn from them?
Right. One of the girls I spoke to said, look, we learned through failure. Part of this whole wind turbine project that we're building right here is we designed the blades and oops, that didn't work, or whatever. We need to do it a different way. But every single time you're learning to get to a better way to do something. And upon there, you innovate and you learn, and personally, you also build confidence as you come to a better solution. And that project there, the Pink Space, the grant that Dominion Energy gave to Pink Space Theory was used in that learning situation, correct?
Exactly. That was part of the 7-week sessions that we had. So that was week 2, where the girls had an opportunity to talk about leadership qualities and how do you handle, as you said, perceived failures.
Well, tell me, before we say goodbye, tell me what's next for Pink Space Theory.
Well, what's next is we are working on a couple of new programs. I know for the fall, we're actually picking up where we left off here with this Intro to Green Living. And so we're expanding it. We have a program that we have the girls designing a solar boat. And so there's going to be a challenge that the girls are going to be presented with. And so the winner will get a prize. And so what we're going to do is kind of continue the learning, and the girls are going to take that engineering design process and ultimately deliver a solar boat design that should be able to work when the sun is out, and also when the sun is on a cloudy day.
Wow.
So there's some troubleshooting, problem solving that's going to need to occur in order to get to a design that's fully functional in those 2 scenarios.
Well, I cannot thank you two enough, Monica and Kiana. Thank you so much for coming on Actions Speak Louder and telling us all about Pink Space Theory and your own personal lives and your challenges. And I just hope, girls out there everywhere see where you two are, and that they need to, study hard and then have the confidence to move forward and reach their dreams. So take care, and we want everyone to know that if they want to learn more about pink space theory, just go to pinkspacetheory.org and you can get all the information you want. And if you want to learn about Dominion Energy grants, please go to dominionenergy.com and search the Charitable Foundation. Thanks so much for watching Actions Speak Louder. See you next time, and be sure to always put safety first.